It's over, Toby. It's time.
In the final season of This Is Us, we witnessed the dramatic breakdown of Toby and Kate's marriage, leading to a seemingly inevitable divorce. While the show presents their separation as a positive and necessary decision, I can't help but feel that their marriage could and should have been saved. Yes, both parties had flaws, but Kate, who pushed so hard for the divorce, ultimately bears more responsibility. In my eyes, she was the selfish and insecure spouse who gave up on their vows far too easily. In this video, I'll explain why I believe Kate and Toby should have stayed married, why I dislike the show's divorce for happiness narrative, and why in the end, Toby deserved better. For a long time, Toby and Kate seemed happy and solid, but things started to unravel when the pandemic hit and Toby lost his job. For months, he struggled to find another one, and when he finally got an opportunity and was rejected, it crushed him. Anyone would be devastated, but for men who often tie their self-worth to providing for their family, it was especially brutal. Meanwhile, Kate had just landed a job she loved, and although she wanted to share her joy with Toby, he was drowning in his own struggles. When he finally found a prestigious, well-paying job that validated his years of experience, their marriage suffered from his absence. He saw a solution: moving to San Francisco. Financially, it made sense. Yet, people on the internet act like he's planning for a future there without telling Kate immediately was some massive betrayal. It wasn't. He was just trying to show her the potential of a new life, a grand gesture, something she once loved about him. Jack was still very young, and adjusting to a new environment would not have been impossible. They could have had everything they needed and a husband and father who was home every day instead of commuting for hours. But Kate didn't like that idea and was not ready for a change. She loved the life she was creating for herself in LA. She also resented his transformation, particularly his weight loss and newfound confidence. Instead of celebrating his achievement, she focused on the fact that he hadn't told her about it. The truth is, Toby was navigating early fatherhood and his struggles in the only way he knew how. He wasn't perfect, but marriage isn't about perfection. It's about forgiveness and working through challenges, something Kate seemed unwilling to do. I believe Kate gave up on the marriage the moment she climbed that hill. In doing something incredibly difficult, she gained confidence, but she also began to believe she no longer needed Toby. That was a turning point. Instead of prioritizing their marriage, she started making unilateral decisions. She applied for another job at her school without even discussing it with Toby, which is weird because she blamed him for doing exactly the same thing. She shut down the San Francisco option. It made it clear that she had no interest in compromising. She put herself first, expecting Toby to fall in line. And he did. He sacrificed everything, moving back to LA, taking a soul-sucking job in a tiny, windowless office to make her happy. But did Kate care? Not one bit. While Toby was thinking about how to provide for his family, Kate was only thinking about herself. And let's not forget, their expensive home in LA, it was paid with his salary. Of course, I understand that she had finally found a job she loved and didn't want to leave. But a job is just that, a job. Marriage is about working together and compromising. And sometimes that means making tough choices. Toby was presenting logical solutions while Kate was living in a fantasy where only her happiness mattered. In the end, Kate's decision to stay in LA made Toby miserable. And when he expressed his unhappiness, instead of working with him to find a middle ground, she nagged him constantly and refused to take responsibility for her own choices. She fixated on his absence, his perceived failings as a father, and how much he had changed, when in reality, she was the one who had stopped appreciating him. Their constant fighting wasn't just about practical matters. It was about her refusal to acknowledge her role in the breakdown of their marriage. And when it became clear that Toby wasn't going to quietly accept a life that made him miserable, Kate took the easy way out.
How do I know? How do I know when it's time to end the marriage?
Divorce sucks. If the only reason you want to leave your marriage is because you're tired of fighting, then you never should have gotten married in the first place. Sorry. Marriage is a lifelong cycle of mistakes, apologies, and forgiveness. It's about working through the hard times, not running away from them.
Well, I guess that's the last time that I'll ever kiss my wife.
Toby fought for their marriage. Kate gave up, as per usual. And that's why Toby deserved better.